Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your heartbreaks are just raw material for someone else's masterpiece? Because if you've ever been through a messy relationship, you're probably not alone in that feeling. The 1960s were this weird, magical time when artists didn't just write about love, they weaponized their personal chaos to create timeless music. And honestly, it's wild how many of those songs were born from actual, real-life relationship drama. Let's dive into 3 examples that prove love, loss, and lyrical genius are inseparable. Take Paul McCartney's For No One. On the surface, it's a bittersweet ballad about a failed relationship. But here's what's fascinating. McCartney wrote this after a 5-year romance with Jane Asher that ended without marriage. Now, think about this. How many people have been in relationships that felt like a good idea, but just didn't work out? McCartney didn't just write about rejection, he turned it into a universal anthem. What makes this really interesting is how he framed it as a sad paradox of listening to a song that captures your own pain. It's like he's saying, hey, I'm not special, I just happened to put this into music. And that's why it resonates. Breakups are universal, but only a few people have the courage to turn them into art. Now, let's talk about Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. Dylan's relationship with Suze Rotolo was real, and when she left him to study in Italy, he wrote this song as a way to cope. But here's the twist, Dylan didn't present it as a love song. He said it's more like a self-reassurance, a way to tell himself, it's okay, I'm fine. That's so human, right? We all do that. Tell ourselves stories to make the pain feel manageable. What many people don't realize is that this song isn't just about letting go, it's about the mental gymnastics we do to survive heartbreak. Dylan's genius was turning that internal monologue into something raw and relatable. It's like he's holding up a mirror to every person who's ever tried to convince themselves they're over someone. Then there's Joni Mitchell's I Had a King, which is basically a love letter to her first marriage, and also a breakup letter. Her husband, Chuck Mitchell, was a good guy but didn't get her passion for songwriting. He stuck to traditional folk, while she was already pushing boundaries. The lyrics paint a picture of 2 people who love each other but are fundamentally incompatible. What I find fascinating is how Mitchell uses metaphor here, calling her husband a king dressed in drip dry and paisley while she's in leather and lace. It's not just about their differences, it's about how creativity can clash with tradition. And honestly, this feels super relevant today. How many relationships end because one person wants to grow and the other wants to stay the same? Mitchell's song isn't just about her marriage, it's a commentary on how art and life often require sacrifice. If you take a step back and think about these songs, they're not just relics of the 60s. They're proof that personal pain can become collective art. These artists didn't just write about their own drama, they turned it into something that makes us feel seen. And that's why, decades later, we still listen to them. What this really suggests is that the most powerful music isn't born from perfection, it's born from the messy, complicated truth of being human. So next time you're going through a tough breakup, remember, you might be writing the next great song. Or at least, you're living the story that someone else will one day turn into art.